I've been playing a lot of Halo Infinite recently, so much that I think I have a well-formed opinion on the game at this point. The beta has been out for over a week now, so thankfully I have had a lot of time to process it all, from the gameplay to the graphics, the progression system, to even the smaller details like map design. First, I would like to preface this by saying that people have been throwing around the word beta pretty lightly, using it as a barrier to deflect incoming feedback and other comments made by the player base. While it is understandable, to me at least, where these people are coming from, the point of a beta is to provide feedback, whether that be positive, negative, or somewhere in between. Unlike most games these days, Halo Infinite's beta is not only free, but is actually built to get feedback from the players. It's not a $60 beta test that isn't meant for anything player-focused, like you would find in other games like Call of Duty or Battlefield. I just wanted to clarify that, seeing as people can get a little confused sometimes. So, let's not waste any time and jump into this. First off, I'm going to split this video up into 3 sections. The first is what works and what is great about the game so far. The second is what could use some improvement and touching up and a bit of polishing. The third is where I will get into the negative and critical stuff, talking about the things that do not work so well and what will need a lot of fixing and or complete overhauls. First off is the gameplay, which is absolutely fantastic in my opinion. It controls really well, it's easy to look around and aim and shoot, and the mobility and movement of your character has a lot of room to breathe and provides a lot of player freedom. It's smooth, fun, and intense, giving a modern feel to the game while still retaining the magic of the Halo games of old. The equipment is also really fun to use and functions like power-ups from Halo should. Gone are the days of constant and permanent boosting, ground pounding, Spartan charging, and floating in the air when ADSing. Even the sprinting and the sliding feels natural and smooth, as sprinting only gives you a slight speed boost while also not being essential to moving around like in Halo 5. These are all drastic and significant improvements from Halo 5, and I look forward to playing this game each time I load into a match. These things must all be commended. The vehicles control really well, and are extremely fun to toy around with. To me, there's no better feeling when it comes to vehicles than hopping on a Warthog and getting a killing spree with the turret, even if we just end up getting destroyed by a rocket. The weapons are all really well designed. They look, feel, and play brilliantly. Another improvement from Halo 5 is the lack of bloat, where many of the weapons felt like carbon copies of each other and had the same roles and provided the same purpose. Each weapon feels unique in some capacity. They all have their own roles, strengths, weaknesses, and purposes. No two weapons feel the same here. Some, like the Cinder Shot and the Skewer, are so much fun and pack quite the punch. Others, like the Stalker Rifle, the Pulse Carbine, and the Heat Wave, all require a decent amount of skill to pull off and use properly, being slightly difficult to master, but also not impossible. The Heat Wave seems like a new and improved scatter shot. The Stalker Rifle seems like a banished version of the Beam Rifle, and the Pulse Carbine is like a combination of a Plasma Rifle, Storm Rifle, and a Carbine, with energy projectiles that track your opponents. However, there does seem to be a lack of fan-favorite weapons. One thing I absolutely hated about Halo 4 and 5 was the art style. The Covenant did not look like the Covenant. Spartans did not look like Spartans. Weapons had a drastic and unnecessary overhaul, venturing too far from the original and simplistic designs and turning out to look like something that did not belong in a Halo game. This, however, is where 343 has absolutely blown my mind. They truly excelled here. Unlike in the previous 2 mainline games, they did almost a full revert back to the original Bungie art style, while still keeping the things that worked in their own art style from Halo 4 and 5. It's clear they pulled direct inspiration from all facets of each game. Zeta Halo looks exactly like you would expect a Halo ring to look. The Forerunner designs, the Spartans, the guns and the enemies, the vehicles, the sound design, all of it looks and feels like a truly amazing Halo experience. I don't know whose idea it was to make the soundtrack the way it is, but this is absolutely phenomenal. I love listening to every second of music that is played in the main menu and the multiplayer. The post-rock feel of the guitars mix really well with the classic Halo choir that joins in later in the track. It gives off this ambience that I haven't felt since Halo Reach over 10 years ago. The music is eerie, mysterious, lively, and calm, while still hyping you up for your next match in this breathtaking world that we have all been thrusted into over the past week and a half. The composers and the rest of the music team did their job perfectly, and I can't wait to see what other tracks they come up with over the course of the game's life cycle. When it comes to things that need a little bit of work, there are several things such as the UI, the options to choose from in the settings menu, the customization, the custom games, etc. First of all, I want to bring up the HUD. It's good, but there are a few small things that need patching up. For one, the ammo counter in the bottom right corner of the screen is a bit difficult for me to pay attention to, unlike in other games. Maybe it's just me, but I feel the HUD is just a bit too small. This is where I think a UI scale option in the settings could come into play, like in MCC. In the Master Chief Collection, there's an option in one of the settings menus that allows you to scale your HUD. So why not have that in Halo Infinite for the players like me that have difficulties navigating the HUD with our eyes? I'd appreciate the option to lower your crosshairs, as some people usually play their game like that, allowing them to focus more or aim more accurately and easily. Another great thing would be to have customizable reticles, from color to position to type, etc. The custom games options are limited compared to previous games, and they don't really allow much for customization at all. You also can't swap maps or modes, and you can't do anything significant like have random weapon spawns. Just a little bit of effort is what it would take to fix these issues, nothing too taxing. Alright, here we go. This is where I get into the negative stuff, and oh boy, where do I even begin? First up, let's address the elephant in the room. The absolutely terrible progression system. Progressing your character through the ranks and levels has always been one of Halo's strong suits. However, Halo Infinite has completely butchered this aspect by replacing standard free progression and unlock systems with the Battle Pass model. In previous games, you got to unlock cosmetics and other things for free, but here, all of that is locked behind a $10 paywall. Now don't get me wrong, I think the Battle Pass is cool, and is loaded with stuff I would love to customize my Spartan with. The main problem I have with this system is that it is the only way to progress. And to make it all worse, the only way to progress effectively is by doing the weekly challenges, which, to my dismay, are objectives completely uncalled for and difficult to achieve. For example, some of the ones I got were things like destroy an enemy warthog in PvP, or destroy an enemy wasp in PvP, and I had to do it 3 to 4 times, which is absurd. Another thing is that the amount of XP you get per match is probably so pitifully low that it would take beyond forever to complete this battle pass. It's almost like they pulled a vanilla Destiny 2 and throttled the XP in order to coerce you into spending more money in the cosmetics shop. Speaking of the cosmetics shop, I cannot believe how awful this system is. Almost every cosmetic you can buy in the store is priced anywhere from $10 to $20 frickin' dollars. That is insane. And even for a free-to-play game, that is absolutely appalling and incredibly overpriced for the amount of stuff you get in these bundles. But alas, my friends, that is just the tip of the iceberg. 343 themselves said that they did not want this game to revolve around a FOMO experience. Yet when you look at the store, items and everything in it is rotated out every week at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tuesdays, which goes completely against what came out of 343's mouths. This system has everything to do with FOMO, and given that there are challenge swaps and temporary XP boosts in the Battle Pass, it proves or at least gives off the impression that the game is encouraging you to buy more microtransactions. Now, some fan favorite guns are missing, like the carbine, the plasma rifle, and hell, the magnum or the shotgun. These things are so sorely missed, but at the same time, I'm not surprised, because unlike in other games, this game has specific roles that every gun achieves and has. Although I would love to see the carbine, the plasma rifle, and even the frickin' light rifle or the suppressor. I would love to see those come back, but at the same time, it's probably best that they didn't. I'm just saying that there are a lot of fan favorites that I want to return, but unfortunately we won't be able to see those for likely some time. Going on, one of the big issues with this game is the armor coding system. 343 said they wanted to give more variety to the players and make it more player focused when it comes to customizing their Spartans. And yes, the codings do look cool, but the way I see it, this system is anything but player focused. The days of selecting your own color scheme for your set of armor are gone. now replaced with what the developers want you to color your armor with. As a result, you can no longer decide for yourself what the identity of your Spartan will be, nor can you freely express yourself at your own leisure. Besides, most of these cool looking armor coatings are locked behind a paywall of some kind. To top it all off, you can only equip a certain armor coating to a certain armor kit, meaning that once you unlock an armor coating, you can only apply it to the armor kit that it is locked to. To make matters worse, there are armor kits that aren't customizable whatsoever. So, if you unlocked an armor kit for Carter, you can't customize him, nor can you apply the pieces of his armor to your own Spartan. I don't understand the logic behind this, and God forbid you want the color red on your Samurai Spartan, because you gotta pay $7 up front for it. Now look, I understand that 343 has to make money through a free-to-play game, but the cosmetics in this shop are dreadfully overpriced for what you get in them. Take Mortal Kombat 11 for example. That game allowed you to get 4 skins from the movie for 4 of the characters, along with their voice actors for the movie, for $6. Which was a damn good deal. And you're telling me you can't do that for Halo Infinite? This is like Modern Warfare 2019 all over again. And let's not forget the lack of content here. Let's be honest, and I do not say this very lightly, Halo 5 had more content at launch than this game does. People call this a beta, but 343 literally said that this is what we are getting come December 8th. The game launched with 3 game mode options, not counting the bot playlist: Quick Play, Big Team Battle, and Ranked. Not to mention the fact that when they launched the free Fracture Tenrai event, Fiesta was the game mode that came with it. Fiesta had its own unique playlist to choose from in past games. Here, it is a temporary event playlist. We don't have Infection. We don't have SWAT. We don't have King of the Hill, we don't have Team Snipers or Shoddy Snipers, we don't have Firefight, we don't have BR Starts and Social, and we don't have Action Sack, among countless other modes that we used to have that are now gone. This massive lack of content is, in the wise words of Guilty Spark, absolutely unacceptable. And I can't believe we're essentially waiting 3 months for Forge again, when they had 6 years to come up with all of this content that we used to have and that we should have at launch on day 1. 343, I swear, this is like another Halo 5 launch cycle, and I don't want it to happen again. You guys need to step up your game, because at its core, Halo Infinite is so damn fun. It's an amazing game, maybe even the best since Halo 3. But when you factor in the lack of content, the lack of options and the settings, the aggressive and predatory microtransactions, and the progression system, the Halo Infinite multiplayer beta is sorely held back from being the best Halo game of all time since Halo 3. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on the game so far? Are you having fun with it, or are you not enjoying it? What are some things you like and dislike about the game? Tell me in the comments below. Until then, unto a God, out.